That's a way to get going on a Sunday right there.
Yeah.
Young lady. Well, Robert, here's what's going to happen.
What's going to happen?
Nothing. Unless this crowd is at a fever pitch. So I leave it in your capable hands, sir.
All right. Here's the deal, guys. You don't get Jensen and Jared until they can hear you rocking. So let's show them a little rocking. She loves to laugh, she loves to sing, she loves everything. She loves to move, she loves to groove, she loves everything. All night, all night, all every night. So hold tight, oh baby, hold tight. Anything you want it, that's the way you need it, any way you want it. Any way you want it, that's the way you need it, any way you want it. I wasn't known, I never knew what we love to do. Hey! When we touch, then we say about loving things. All night, every night. So hold tight, oh baby, hold tight. She said, that's the way you need it. She said, that's the way you need it, any way you want it. Ow, ow, ow. Oh yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Nice entrance, boys.
we've seen Rob do so many times. We're like, I don't know what it feels like to like come in from the back of the auditorium and
Pretty cool, right?
snazzy on in.
The only difference is you're not nearly as winded as Rob is when he comes in.
What? I'm winded and I didn't even do it.
He's winded just watching us.
Yeah. I'm going to make this official. Vancouver and the rest of BC. Say hello to the boys who shoot the show right here in your backyard. Mr. Jared Padalecki and Jensen.
Hi guys. How are y'all, eh? See, when in Canada, do as the Campions. It's good to be back in Vancouver. I've been high. How are you? Good. Good. Well, I hear.
You've been high.
I've been high. He's been high. I've been high. They're all new. Hi guys. Sorry, we saw some walkers. Anybody's first convention? So, nobody? Welcome. Love you back. Welcome to our cool, crazy family. Some of you know, some of you don't know, we just started shooting season 13 about a month ago. As a matter of fact, I think it was exactly a month ago, July 12th. So,
Yeah, well, some of us are shooting, some of us aren't.
what's it been like? What's it like?
Well, I don't know, let's ask. Is there anybody out there that actually has in the past or is currently working on the set of Supernatural right now? Anybody? Are you back? Did they put you in the back? In the nosebleeds? Yeah. Told you we'd look out for you. Is that, oh, you got some more over here?
All right. Oh, all right.
Hey, all right.
What's up, guys?
Can't hide forever.
Yeah. They're not trying to hide. They're sitting right there.
Oh, hey,
Hey. All over the place.
Yeah, although a few of you I'm not going to claim.
So we are surrounded by,
So we have, yes, we have the real heroes of the show peppered in throughout the audience here. Because even when the story isn't about the brothers, which generally means we have time off. Right now, obviously Jared does. 'Cause he flew in for this.
I did. And I do it again.
But even if both of us are not currently working, those guys always are, and they keep the show running day in and day out, and it would never be even remotely possible without their expertise. So thank you to those guys.
All right.
Except you, Brad.
Thank God for Brendan. We're not going to make you guys wait forever, so let's go ahead and get some questions. I think y'all been standing up. So, hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, how are you?
First, I'd just like to say that you guys are like super awesome, and I love you guys both.
Me, though, right? Not like,
Yeah.
Thank you. You're super awesome.
Jared, actually, I've been watching you since like 2000, since like the More Girls came out. So, like,
You can't drop the mic after somebody else says something. Don't drop her mic. That's... Not even the first question, my head hurts.
okay, so my question is, if you guys could play any female character on Supernatural, which ones would you guys play and why?
I guess Castiel is always
The car.
You know, there have been a few characters. So I sort of have played I guess demons don't have sexes, but I guess I played the Meg demon, and the amazing Rachel Miner is here today. But I think a neat character to play would be Charlie. I'm a bit of a like Lord of the Rings nerd, Star Wars nerd, Harry Potter nerd, so I like over there.
Just nerd. Covers it.
I like Charlie. What about you? If you say Genevieve, I swear.
No, not Genevieve. Ruby. I'm just kidding, that's disgusting. I would play Becky. No, in all honesty, I think one of my favorite female characters on the show, and is largely in part because of the person that plays it, is Rowena.
What about you? If you could play any female character on the show, what would you play? Oh, come on, you can't ask the question and have an idea.
Probably go with Meg.
Meg?
Yeah.
years to come here, so I'm a little nervous.
Oh, cool.
So my question to you guys is, what episode did you guys have the most fun filming out of all 12 seasons?
You said you know what you did last
Well, I've had a pretty unique relationship with the show. So I was able to film an episode where I was husband to my real wife, and I was also able to film an episode where I was an accomplice of the murder of my wife. So depending on the day, sometimes it's I've made mistakes. Sometimes it's season 5. No, honestly, I think, in my opinion, as far as the most fun to film, it would be one of two for me. They were both really nerve-wracking, but I would say, and they go back and forth for French Mistake and Changing Channel. And there's so many. There's episode 200. I mean, there's Baby. There's so many. But as far as like making fun of ourselves and making fun of everybody else in the industry, I think those two kind of stand on their own.
Yeah, I like the ones where we kind of break off and do stuff a little out of the ordinary.
What episode do we not do anything out of the ordinary? Not the ones where we're killing zombies or anything.
That's ordinary. Flip on any television show now. I think I saw a zombie on Law and Order the other day. Baby, just because it was so unique and so different. I know it was.
Oh, you always like to hear him say baby. Give it a bless.
Baby. I think for several reasons. One, I know it was a technical nightmare for our crew, but the fact that they not only got the job done, but it was, in my opinion, one of the best episodes we've done. It was just really cool to do something different. I also I like the funny ones, so Yellow Fever, and I guess I like the ones where Dean gets to be a little bit more comedic. So Yellow Fever regarding Dean, even though it turned out to be tragic, it was kind of funny getting there.
I like Dog Dean too.
Dog Dean, yeah.
Hey!
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Hey there.
Hey, bud.
So my question is, if you guys could do like any kind of a movie genre, what would you do? Because I personally think that Jared or Jensen and Misha should do a rom-com.
I'd direct that.
You've never directed anything.
That's my point. I would direct that.
That's what it'll take. That's the scenario. You're like, nope, can't pass up this opportunity.
Please. I personally am pretty scared of comedy. It's intimidating. For those who know me personally, I love to joke around. I love to goof around. I love to have fun. I love to make people laugh. I love to laugh with and at other people, at Misha or everybody else. But it's intimidating to try to do that in a scripted fashion. So I probably wouldn't do a comedy. But I kind of love what I'm doing now. So if something like Supernatural the movie could come around. I guess I love the escapism of movies. I always like the James Bond movies and the Star Wars movies and the Harry Potter books. I didn't see all the movies, but the Lord of the Rings books and movies. So I love creating a different world where we are to go and kind of delve into another psyche, another planet, another truth. So it'd be something along those lines. but then means I'll be directing a rom-com with this guy and wherever Mishkovich is.
I've said it before, I'd love to do a Western. / rom-com with Mishka. I mean, you know what they say, give it to them in a way they don't expect it. I just grew up a little bit, I just want you to know.
Who's gay? And when are they saying that?
You know,
I don't know.
you.
Thank you for that horrifying I will, that's going to cost me years of therapy. Thanks, man. It's hot up here. How are you?
You guys are world travelers. Is there a place you've visited or a culture you've encountered that's awed you or changed your worldview?
I love Brazil. I don't think there's really anyone specifically off the top of my head that comes to mind, but I do have a funny story. So when I went to Rome for the first time with Genevieve, I don't necessarily speak Italian at all. And so we would go to, like, we bought the floaters and Frommers and eyewitness guides to the back roads of Italy and stuff, and we would go to these hole-in-the-wall restaurants where they didn't speak English, it wasn't very touristy, and we didn't really speak Italian, and so they bring food, and I'd eat it, and man, oh man, it was good. And then they'd come out, and they'd kind of, in broken English, be like, how is, you know, I could tell they were asking how the food was, and the only thing I knew to do was to go like, which to me meant like, oh man, that was amazing. Like, that was, and they'd always kind of give me a look like, and walk away. It wasn't until I got back home from Italy that I learned this means like, go to hell. So we're like, F you. And so they're like, how was your food? And I was like, and they were like, I got back stateside and I was mortified. I was doing that several times a day. Just walk down the street and be like, your pants. Those shoes you have on. And the entire time people are like, what's the giant American dude?
So we already adopted the culture, so now when we're out here in the States or Canada, he's like, how was your food? My kid is so good. I'm not doing that, Jared.
Yeah, so sorry, that's what kind of came to me.
I think if you travel, wherever you travel, those experiences should impact your life. And if they don't, then you're not traveling right. I would say one of the most impactful travels I had was to Japan. And for many reasons, but one of the major reasons was just it was such a different culture than I was used to. That it was beautiful, and it made me appreciate the diversity of what different cultures around the world. So yeah.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
How do you think you most connected with your characters, Sam and Dean?
That's a good question.
Hair.
Both tall. You know, I kind of touched on this earlier in my, I almost said in my private. In my private meet and greet, but there was something, Sam always, it's been a long time, but Sam, to me, the more I read the script, the more I got to kind of form an opinion on who I thought Sam was never really sure who he was. He thought he knew who he was, he thought he knew what he wanted to be, but he was still searching, he was still learning, he was still listening and reading. He committed to a bunch of different things before he finally found out sort of who he's okay with being. And I think Jared went through a similar, where I wanted to be, where my space was, where I was allowed to be. Sometimes people, I guess I'm a poster child for this, don't necessarily believe in themselves that they can do something or be something or affect somebody or tell a story the proper way. It's really intimidating to be an actor sometimes. Because I've known actors, I know actors and actresses today who are 1,000 times more talented than I am, 1,000 times harder working, 1,000 times more attractive or taller or built or maybe not taller. I don't know, but so it's, you feel a certain responsibility, like I want to do justice for, there are a lot of people, there's some in the audience today, there are a lot of people who put in a lot of hours to help make Supernatural what you guys see for 42 minutes a week, 23 times a year. I mean, there are over 100 in Vancouver, not counting Los Angeles, and whoever the investors are that invest in the company in the first place. So you feel a lot of responsibility, and I guess I had a tough time believing I kind of live up to it. I think like Sam did, like you didn't want to be a part of who he was and who John, you were, and he kind of accepted that he had a role to play. So I've kind of grown along with Sam, and now with love from y'all guys, and a little bit of learning from Sam, I kind of am finally happy with where I am. So thank you. Jensen and Dean are both bow-legged.
He speaks the truth. I don't know, I think I find a lot of similarities in the character in myself, and I also find a lot of similarities. So it's, I guess if I was to pick one, I would say, I'd say myself and Dean share the same kind of ultimate moral compass. I always feel like I have the desire to fight for the good. And to also defend those who can't defend themselves. And I love that trait about Dean. He may not always go about it in the most pleasant way, but I think at the end of the day, his heart is always in the right place. And I feel like I share that with him, and I do enjoy that characteristic. So. And there's one.
Hi.
So the show's been on the air for a few years.
Are you telling me?
You've had a few different showrunners over that time. My question is, how does a change in showrunner affect your day-to-day work on set?
Jensen.
It doesn't really affect the day-to-day work. It's more of just what the work entails. You know, the storylines, you know, how the brothers are interacting with each other, how they're interacting with other characters, what other characters come on the scene to play. So I think one of the great things that we've been able to get from the multiple showrunners that we've had is a common denominator of quality. I think that the show has continued to kind of stay true to itself throughout 12 years. You know, sure, there's an argument to say some seasons were better than other seasons, I agree. But I'm not talking. But I think over the whole run of the show, the work has always stayed pretty consistent. And I think that that's just a testament to what Kripke established all those years ago. And it was a platform and a roadmap for these other guys and gals to follow.
I think another thing that we have that we lucked out is that Sam and Dean didn't exist before whatever, September 15th, 2005.
The Fish or the Brothers?
Sam and, no, the Fish. Which is to say, I love superhero movies and TV shows, but they have to fit the character that's been written. Sam and Dean, not Sam.
No, we wouldn't have this problem if you said Dean and Sam.
But that just doesn't sound right. Dean and Sam. So Dean is Sam and his older but shorter brother Dean. We really were able to be a part of the creation of these characters, which is unique in a show like this. I think there were so many factors that went into it. One of which was all the people who were creating the show were 1,200 miles away in a different country. Granted, it was USA, but they sort of got to know. They didn't get to know Jensen and Jared before they got to know Sam and Dean. So we sort of, and you never know. So I feel like we were, it's not tangible, but I feel like we were pretty integral in who the characters were. And I remember when French Mistake came along, and they were like, hey, we want you guys to play yourselves. And we're like, well, I don't know how I feel about that. I just have to play Sam Winchester. He said the same thing. He's like, okay, I can play Jensen Ackles, but only as Dean Winchester playing Jensen Ackles. I'm not going to play, we never, as much as the show has broken the fourth wall, Sam and Dean have always been Sam and Dean. And so we've been able to be a part of creating our character. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Dude, you took a left into like Crazyville about 30 seconds ago. And lost us all.
We started out in Crazyville. Currently, we're like in a different universe or something. No, that's very true. I'm gonna let Jensen finish this off.
I don't know where we are right now. I mean, yes, I stopped listening. Basically, when you started talking.
I did too. I was hoping to pick up the slack and kind of carry it on.
It was just white noise.
So, that having been said, to bring it around full circle, I feel like the showrunners. Look over there. The showrunners who, from 50.
Are we still talking about the showrunners?
All the showrunners have already been a part of the show and have known who Sam and Dean were, so our day-to-day didn't necessarily change. Right, Jensen?
I said that 10 minutes ago. I'm sorry. We're going to need yes and no questions from now on.
Yes, thank you so much for your question.
Thanks.
If this isn't yes or no, can it be A, B, C, or D?
Get multiple choice.
Stop. I fully support you, Jared, on Sam and Dean. Sorry. But I just want to say, it's truly an honor to ask you guys a question. Like, I never dreamed I'd be able to do this.
Awesome. Well, it's our honor to answer.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask you, Jensen, I love this.
I'm going to take that back.
No, you said it. I just sit back quietly and watch the destruction. Hi.
It's gonna be fun.
It's already said it, you can't take it back.
We're like,
I'm all yours.
All right, well, I want to say,
please say baby again, please say baby.
I've honestly loved your, when you did the episode.
Because
Thank you.
for what?
Said she liked the episodes I directed. Isn't that what you said?
No, she didn't finish her sentence. You can't just say
Yes, she
thank
did.
you. I didn't hear it.
Did you guys hear that? Yeah. Just keep flicking her off. That's. Hi.
Yeah, with one of my personal favorites being Soul Survivor. I watch that one all the time. Just because both your spot on. But I was wanting to know, are we going to be seeing more of your directing in season 13?
No. Thank you for the yes or no question.
Ask and you shall receive, right? You take direction very well, though. So if he does come back to direct, expect a phone call.
No, we're all filled up. I opted not to this year to spend more time with my family. But I do hope to get the opportunity again in the future. So we'll see.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, Justin Jared. My question is, since we saw the Samulet reappear at the end of season 11 in Don't Call Me Shirley, where has Dean been keeping it since then?
Wouldn't you like to know? We have to wait for our Netflix season to reveal where. That's how you. Not yes or no necessarily.
Hey, Griswold, are you going to keep a tree there? No, I don't understand. Did they start drinking it at breakfast?
He doesn't want this to be the butt of the joke. Nor do we want to make an ass of ourselves. But maybe there's somebody in the rear of the auditorium who knows. I do this all day. Come together.
All right, okay. Yeah.
There appears to be a back door.
All right, enough of the cracks.
I'm gonna put a plug in this.
This is the point on set when they usually call for a second meal.
Rump roast?
I mean, the little points on from those things.
She's like, just answer my question.
It's probably in the trunk. I need a water.
Is that?
No, it's fine. All right, moving on. Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. I was wondering, as actors, what would be your absolute worst nightmare role or character to play? And would you do it if you got a chance? It's a challenge, right?
What's the one thing you would never want to do
Exactly,
that you would get to do if you gosh. You mean on the show or just any?
No, like in life, like
Yeah,
it could be a
any
real
kind of
person.
character.
It could just be like a kind of character or a particular story that you would want to tackle as like a huge challenge.
Say Rapunzel?
We would love to play Rapunzel.
Yeah, Rapunzel's awesome.
That's a good question.
I'll take a serious stab at it. I probably wouldn't want to play a heroin addict, somebody that. No, I mean, like you look at these. Who was it? Christian Bale, I think, did a character in was it The Machinist? Or where he, the mechanic.
No, the machinist, yeah.
Where he lost so much weight, and there's those roles out there that actors can commit to that, in my opinion, are really bad for their health, and also something that maybe takes you mentally, not just physically, but takes you mentally to a place that's hard to recover from. You look at Heath Ledger and the Joker, and even though that was a comic, based on a comic book, and Batman's been around for a long time. Jack Nicholson actually said, "Be careful. This character can get you." And so I'd be weary of a character that would take me to, that would force me to go someplace mentally that I couldn't recover from. That I think scares me.
Yeah, I agree. I have all of the respect in the world for people who do portray these types of characters that I'm about to mention. I'm grateful that they can help tell a story and shed light on whether it's a historical event or something. But I feel like I would have a really difficult time playing like a racist or a sexist or misogynist or someone who is, anti-LGBTQ or a white supremacist or something, because the way I approach acting and I approach roles is there are, I don't want to speak in hyperbole, there are a million actors who can be cast in a role. It might be a bit much, but the only thing that I want to offer is my own experience and find my own truth in that. And I understand it's important to tell stories, and these people exist in reality. I just don't want to go there. I don't want to try and find similarities or judgments that I don't want to. It's just kind of scary to imagine trying to humanize somebody that I think is capable of inhumane actions. So that having been said, like when you look at Inglourious Bastards or something, Christoph Waltz, he plays this horrible character and adds like a humanist characteristic to it. So I appreciate what he does as an actor, but I don't think I'm as talented to be able to do that and turn it off. He's such a master of his craft that he does it and he's like, okay, I can tell this story somebody else's. I always feel like I want to tell my story, maybe selfish. But, so maybe just somebody hateful or judgmental I really want to play.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much.
wondering if you could choose what happens next for Sam and Dean, what that future would look like. Like you got to write the next season or something like that. What would happen?
Who sent you?
Why?
Why? God, do you have a...
It would involve a very comfortable chair. And a nice view. And a bottomless drink.
Yeah, essentially that. I wish this for everybody, but I wish this for the boys. I wish they had peace. Whatever that peace is, I think we're all after it, right? Which is why, and Dr. Carlo this applause with booze, with an OOS and an OOZE, but which is why I think the boys have to die. Not right now. I'm saying, like, I don't see them at peace if they know people are in pain or getting hurt or killed. I feel like they have devoted their lives to helping others. And there's some degree of sacrifice and some absence of peace, but I feel like, I mean, if Supernatural ended and it was just like Sopranos, where at a diner shuts off, you could be like, well, what are they doing now? That's what I'm gonna think. I'd be like, well, who are they helping now? What's the latest in their saga? So, I don't know. Luckily, I'm not a writer.
I don't think we've ever seen. I'm trying to think. In fact, I don't think we've ever seen an expression on either total peace. There's been moments of peace, where, the Christmas episode, or there's been where the brothers have had moments that are genuine and nice, but there's never been.
Song, like laying on the Apollo, again, it's that moment of rest.
But that's just kind of resting between. That's like the calm before the storm. So there's always something on the horizon that's going to take that moment away from them, and they're aware of that. There's never been a moment where they've either looked at each other or had a look of just, we're done. And I think that would be, if that day comes, that'll be a pretty special moment. Yeah.
And we hope you're there. I said, and we hope you're there. We hope you're all there with us.
Do you find it more difficult to work with practical effects or effects that have been added in later?
When it comes to effects on the show, is it more difficult to work with practical?
Practical or visual editing get added in?
It used to be more difficult to work with visual because of all of the, I'll say because of the lack of technology that we had when we first started. We had an entire stage devoted to green screen. And so imagining the world that is going to be laid in later and reacting to things that aren't actually there physically did pose a bit of a challenge. Because the technology has advanced so much while we've done the show, we no longer have a green screen stage. And all of the visual effects are laid in our practical sets, which is great because
other than Impala, we haven't done green screen since like the Looney Tunes. What was that called?
Oh, Brad, do you remember the last time we did green screen? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I would say now it's more difficult to deal with practical effects because there's certainly more room for error. If we're waiting for some wall to crash down or some, thing to explode, or there's this human error that can be problematic. And also, if something does go wrong, we have to reset everything, and that a lot of times takes time. Now we have a great special effects crew, and they're super efficient, they're fast, and they get things done, and I trust them. But at the end of the day, they're setting up, we've got to wait for, for the gag to happen, whereas now visual effects, we can just shoot and they're like, yeah, we'll take care of everything later.
Right.
Fix it in post, as it were.
Like gunshots are difficult sometimes because obviously there's no safety person worth their sand that's going to let you hold a gun and shoot at or near somebody. So a lot of the gunshot effects we have to use is either Jensen or me holding a gun, and then we'll do this as if we just shot a gun, but somebody has to watch and wait for us to move our hand like that, then push a button that blows a light bulb or something. So it's literally timing. Sometimes the light bulb's broken, or the thing futzes out and it blows too early, or it blows too late, it doesn't blow at all. So I think practical is like he said, more room for error.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. However, it's much more gratifying to see something blow up in person than when the show airs. It's like, oh, that's what that explosion is going to look like. Hi.
Hi, I'm quite new to Supernatural. I'm on season 4 at the moment. And
episodes or seasons?
No, season 4.
Oh, got it.
My daughter introduced me to it, and
welcome. Where the hell have you been?
But what I really like.
You asked people, you should just put "I'm only on season 4" on your shirt. Because we were like, oh, do you remember when so and so died? And you're like,
who's so and so?
What I'm enjoying at the moment are the scenes with Dean and food. I know. Do you stop eating?
yes, Dean goes on a diet around season 17.
What I wanted to ask is, do you get to choose what you eat, or do you just eat what the script writers tell you to eat?
Well, it's usually a happy medium. If what they describe in the script, we'll try to accommodate. If it's something that I truly think is disgusting, then we'll try to get something similar, or, you know.
What was the worst thing you ever had to overeat as being?
Caramel.
The turducken.
She's not there yet.
She's like, I don't know what that is.
But now you
well, now you know. Spoiler alert, the turducken. Yeah, that was, and it wasn't that it was awful. It was that
made to look nasty. They wanted to look.
Yeah, they actually brought in like a food. What do you call them?
Food artist or something?
Stylist. A food stylist. Thank you.
Is anybody in here a food stylist?
Culinary student. Okay. So they brought in a food stylist and created this thing. And you know, she asked me if there's anything I'm allergic to, or you know, if there's anything I don't eat. I was like, no, I eat everything. So knock yourself out. So I forget what it was made of. It wasn't turkey and duck and chicken.
I don't think it was even meat based.
I don't even think it was meat based. Yeah, like give me the turducken for crying out loud. I don't know what this is. But they did that in order for it to look gross. And I remember I had to eat so much of it. And it was like every take I was supposed to be inhaling this burger. And it was just like take after take. I think I ate like 6 burgers that day. And the problem is, if you take a bite of something, no, it was not meat. It was. If you eat something and we're pretty good, we've learned a few things over the years. If you wait and take a bite at the end of the scene, then you can into the bucket when they all cut.
Sexy, huh?
But the problem was I was supposed to be eating off the top of the scene and then have dialogue and then eat more and then have more dialogue. So I was having to swallow it. So Yeah, just imagine eating 6 non-meat burgers in the course of like 3 hours. It was not a good day for Mr. Jensen Ackles. Yeah. No, we suffer for our art. Okay? Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So I'm a little new to the show so far, but I honestly say
How many seasons?
So far I've started out at the beginning and I've been jumping around just to get enough info
All right.
so I don't.
Welcome to
How dare you!
She doesn't want to be surprised by a turducken. I dig it. I dig it.
But my question is this: so I've seen that you guys do themed episodes from every now and then for homages to different works of fiction that aren't supernatural, and I was really wondering what you guys think an Alice in Wonderland episode would be like.
Let's find out.
Just you wait, season 14. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
That's actually that's a really good idea. I don't think we've done anything even remotely close to that.
Yeah, I wonder if, and not to be unromantic, but I wonder if it's just because Alice in Wonderland might not be owned by Warner Brothers. You know? But again, we'll put in a good word. Good idea.
Yeah.
I just wonder what you guys would think.
I think it'd be awesome.
Cheshire Cat up.
What?
Gingerbread?
Juju the rat?
Juju Rex.
Is the rat named Juju? Is that a character in Alice in Wonderland?
It came from over there.
No, who's Juju the rat? Oh, you should direct.
You should direct Juju the Rat. Would be kind of good. Yeah, so later this season we'll have Jensen directing Juju the Rat.
And it'll be a show loosely based on Alice in Wonderland. That's awesome. Thank you.
Cheshire Cat and Juju the Rat. Thank you so much. Welcome.
Now I want to. How do you want to know about this Juju the rat? Hi.
Hi, thank you for coming. Appreciate your time. I have a multiple choice question. A, B, C, or D. Who has the anti-possession tattoo? Jensen, Jared, Sam, or Dean? Who has the tattoo?
Well, CND, I think.
No. Dean and Sam.
CND.
The SND. What are you looking at? Are you chafed again? What's happening? We do not have those tattoos.
Yes.
Our characters do. So, I'm confused. What's the right answer?
C and D.
We did good.
Well, that was the easiest. Man, I was also using like that.
They are.
That easy. I'm gonna high five your face.
Thank you for a reasonably easy question.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey! You know what that means?
That means it's the last question. We are there. It is that time of the day. Hey, Robbie. Yeah. It's the last question, love. It's the last question. It's the last question. It's the last question. It's the last question. Very last one. It's the last question. It's the last question.
supernatural family, say hi to Sam.
Yeah, great, Jared. But what's your name? I'm confused. Is this a multiple choice question again? C and D.
C, not D. So Sam, you are our last question, so you get to get dragged up on stage by C and D. You get to ask your question and see all your family out there. See all your family.
All right, we did it.
So what is your question?
I was wondering how you think your younger selves, like before you started Supernatural, would react if they were told like the impact you've made on the world, like as of
I know that me personally, I would probably not believe it. But what I also wouldn't believe is the impact that the world has ever made, meaning you guys. So I would say pretty floored. Yeah. There was no way that we could have ever predicted any of this, and any of this, you know, front of the house, back of the house, all of it is, we're still pinching ourselves 12%. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll basically just second that and say he and I are just two guys who wear makeup for a living and with the help of some people.
Well, some more than others.
We're stuck up here in Vancouver, which is a good place to be stuck, but it's you and it's them and all over the place that are making a real difference day in, day out. So honored to be a part of it, but didn't do it alone. So thank you, Sam. Guys.
Good people of Vancouver, put your hands together for Mr. Jensen and Jared Halligan.
I'm in my mind. I ain't wasting more time. Just another heartbeat to rescue. With the love and charity, I'm gonna hold on for the rest of my days. I know what it means. Walking on alone and crazy. Here I go again on my own. Going down the only road I've ever known. Like a gypsy, I was born to walk alone. I'm there.